Nicolas-Henri Tardieu, called the Tardieu the Elder, was a prominent French engraver, known for his sensitive reproductions of Antoine Watteau's paintings. He was appointed graveur du roi to King Louis XV of France. His second wife, Marie-Anne Horthemels, came from a family that included engravers and painters. She is known as an engraver in her own right. Nicolas-Henri and Marie-Anne Tardieu had many descendants who were noted artists, most of them engravers. Biography. Nicolas-Henri Tardieu was born in Paris on 18 January 1674 and was baptized 3 days later. He was the son of Nicolas Tardieu, bourgeois de Paris, and Marie-Aimée. His father was a boilermaker, as were his 2 younger brothers. Possibly Nicolas-Henri used scraps of copper from his father's workshop for his early engravings. He was a student of Pierre Leporter, Gerard Audran and Benoit Audran. Tardieu married Louise Françoise Aveline, daughter of Jean Aveline and a relative of the engraver Pierre Aveline, on 1 September 1706 in the church of Saint-Jacques-du-Haut-Pas. Louise Françoise was the widow of Laurent Baron, the commissioner of the Oratory. Louise had 2 children from her first marriage, and had just one with Tardieu, Denis, born on 31 August 1707. She died on 18 November 1708. On 20 October 1712 Tardieu married again, to Marie-Anne Horthemels. She was the widow of the pastry maker Germain Lecoq, who had worked for King Louis XIV of France and for the Duchess of Burgundy. Marie-Anne was one of 3 daughters of the Dutch bookseller Daniel Horthemels. Her sister Louise Magdalene Horthemels was an active reproductive engraver who married Charles Nicolas Gautier, graveur du roi. Her other sister married Alexis Simon Bell, painter ordinaire du roi. His second wife had a talent for engraving, and is known for her portraits of Cardinal de Bissy, Cardinal de Rohan and the Regent Philippe II, Duke of Orleans. She died on 24 March 1727. Tardieu was accredited to the Academy on 29 October 1712. He was received as a member of the Royal Academy and graveur du roi on 29 November 1720, for his engraved portrait of the Duke of Antin, after a painting by Hyacinthe Rigaud. As one of the most prominent engravers of his time, Tardieu was commissioned to engrave plates for several major publications. He made engravings for the Crozat collection and the Galerie de Versailles. Tardieu died on 27 January 1749 at his house on the Rue Saint-Jacques in Paris and was buried the next day. He was survived by his brother Claude Tardieu and his son Jacques-Nicolas Tardieu. Legacy. Tardieu had 4 sons, each of whom passed on the tradition of engraving or other arts to the descendants. He had taught his son Jacques-Nicolas Tardieu, also a designer and engraver, who was appointed graveur ordinaire du roi. Tardieu also taught engraving to his nephew, Pierre-François Tardieu. The engraver Bernard Baron was another of his pupils who gained distinction in his profession. Laurent Cars and Jacques-Philippe Lebas were also pupils, later to be teachers themselves. His grandson Jean-Charles Tardieu became a well-known painter. The last of the line of clever engravers that he founded died in 1844. Jean-Baptiste Van Loo painted Tardieu's portrait, which was placed in the galleries of Versailles. Work of at least 8 engravers by the name of Tardieu. Nicolas-Henri was the most notable, one of the most prominent engravers in France for his versatile use of point engraver. He was author of many engravings of the highest quality. Tardieu held true to the principles of his master, Gerard Audran. He was an opponent of the fashionable trend towards less serious subjects, and attempted to pass on his traditionalist views to his pupils. Tardieu engraved several of Watteau's paintings. His version of Champs-Élysées and Embarcation for Cythera are excellent interpretations of Watteau's work as etchings. Tardieu had an extraordinary ability to retain the silvery atmosphere of Watteau's paintings in his engravings. Some of his best prints include portraits Louis Antoine, Duc d'Argentine after Rigard, engraved for his reception plate at the Academy in 1720, Jean Sonnen, Bishop of Senez, made from the life 1716. An emblematical subject, representing the principal qualifications of a perfect minister: secrecy, fortitude and prudence after Eustache Lesueur. Classical subjects: Embarcation for Cythera after Antoine Watteau, Alexander's Battles after Charles Le Brun. 4 subjects of Roman history, in the form of friezes after Rinaldo Mantovano, Jupiter and Alemone after Giulio Romano, Apollo and Daphne after Charles Antoine Coypel, The Wrath of Achilles after Antoine Coypel, The Parting of Hector and Andromache after Antoine Coypel, Vulcan presenting to Venus armor for Aeneas after Antoine Coypel, Venus soliciting Jupiter in favor of Aeneas after Antoine Coypel, Juno directing Aeolus to raise a tempest against the feet of Aeneas after Antoine Coypel. Religious subjects: the Annunciation after Carlo Maratta, the Holy Family, with angels presenting flowers and fruit after Andrea di Aloigi, Adam and Eve after Domenichino, the Scourging of Christ after Charles Le Brun, a Crucifixion after Charles Le Brun, Christ and the Woman of Samaria after Nicolas Bertin, Christ appearing to Mary Magdalene after Nicolas Bertin, the Martyrdom of St. Peter after Sebastian Borden, a Crucifixion after Joseph Paracel, the Conception after Antoine Coypel. Other works that have been preserved include Gravures, 1738, St. Jerome dans le Cavern, 1741, after the painting by Pierre Dulin in the chapel of l'Abbé Bignon at Fils, St. Thomas. Portrait du Roi, P. Pollard, Prétor de l'Oratoire, 1742, drawn and engraved by the same artist. Le Croix qui apparaît dans le ciel à l'Empereur Constantin lorsque j'ai préparé de déclarer la guerre à Maxence. Baptême de Constantine, double mariage de Constantin Chlorus, père de Constantine et de Maximin Galère ce acute SAR, 1743, la ville de Rome recueille le courant de l'Empire des Mains de la Victoire et l'entrée de Constantine, entrevue de Constantine et de Crisp, son fils, à Byzance. La bataille de Constantine contre Maxence, 1745. La défaite de Maxence et sa chute dans la Tiber. Vue de la ville de Beauvais, after a pastel by Jean-Baptiste Audry, 1747. Vue de l'Abbé de Passy du côté de la forêt de Saint-Germain, 1748, after a pastel by Audry. Un plafond du Palais Royal, after Charles-Antoine Coypel. Recueil historié des hommes illustres d'Angleterre, after Italian and French drawings. Le Sacre de Louis XV Gallery.